Hello and welcome to episode 2 of SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm Britton Hess and I'm here to give you my 3 best Underdog fantasy plays every day. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, use promo code DAILYDOG for an up to $250 deposit bonus. Again, that's promo code DAILYDOG on UnderdogFantasy.com or on the app. So we got the show started yesterday with a win, so that is good to bank a winner on the first day of the show. It was good that we won, but it was also a little annoying because we had Jeff McNeil to have over half of the total base in the game versus the Nationals today. There was a lot of hits for both teams, a lot of runs, a lot of everything. But unfortunately, Jeff McNeil did not get the start despite being 6 for 7 versus Mackenzie Gore. I don't know, they're just targeting lefties with him, or they're targeting righties with him. But he did not get the start, but that was okay because our pick of Alexander Zverev to have higher than 0.5 sets lost against Holger Rune came home in the very first set. So not much of a sweat there. That went 5 sets. It was a really close match. Rune had a lot of chances to actually win that one. So I'm happy to bring that no sweater home for everybody. The last one that we played yesterday was a little bit of a sweat. It was Tyler Anderson of the Angels to allow lower than 5.5 hits, lower than 5.5 hits against the Padres. He was cruising. He was in the 7th inning with only 80 pitches. He had only allowed 4 hits at that point. Then he got an out, allowed a double to Ha-Seong Kim, got an out, allowed a walk, and then he got pulled. So we got there by the hook with under 5.5 hits allowed by Tyler Anderson. Those ended up paying 2.18 without the McNeil pick in there. So we over doubled our money on the first day of this show. We're going to keep that up. And if you're the type of person that likes to track these results, there's a link in my linker tree on my Twitter, which is at Britton Hess, to all the plays I'm giving out on this show. But let's not live in the past. Let's get on to the future. Tomorrow, we're going to get back into tennis. It treated us so well. Yesterday that we're going to go right back there. There's tons of opportunity in the French Open. I'm going to go with Carlos Alcaraz to lose fewer than 1.5 or lower than 1.5 sets against Stefanos Tsitsipas. There's another play in this match that I like as well, but I'll get to that at the end of the show. It might have a little bit more risk involved, so I'm happy to take Alcaraz to lose lower than 1.5 sets against Stefanos Tsitsipas. I actually think Carlos probably wins this in straight sets, so if you want to get really crazy, you can take him to lose lower than 1.5 or lower than half a set. But I am happy to just have that buffer of 1.5 sets lost. Overall, Stefanos Tsitsipas has a pretty good tournament. I don't think he's necessarily had to face the toughest competition. Carlos, came into this tournament with some health concerns, some conditioning concerns, but he has put those to bed, and he's only lost 1 set in 4 matches so far. Stefanos Tsitsipas is a player that likes to beat up on the dregs of the ATP. He's got over a 70% win rate, or 73% win rates versus 73% win rate versus players he's ranked higher than. However, versus higher ranked opponents like Carlos Alcaraz, he's a 41% win rate. If you go up to top 50 or to the top 5, his win rate's only 30%. So he's a bully. He likes to crush players that don't have much of a shot, but when the going gets tough, Tsitsipas usually gets going, and I don't think Carlos is going to give him much room for error in this one. Additionally, these guys played last year in this tournament, and Carlos won 3-0, which I do predict is going to happen again today, but maybe I'll take a veteran set and let Tsitsipas win one while Carlos catches or regains some energy. These guys obviously both play well in slow clay conditions, but the thing is just that in these tough spots, I trust Alcaraz so much more than Tsitsipas. These guys have played 8 combined sets on clay in their careers against each other. Carlos has won 7 of those, so I can expect that to continue. So that's enough tennis for now. If you really like more tennis, I have another play. I'll give it to you at the end of the show. But it's another pick, a little bit maybe higher risk, but I feel really good about that one as well. So stick around to the end for that one. My next pick is going to be in baseball. Tyler Glasnow, lower than 4.5 hits allowed. Yeah, that's a low number, only 4.5 hits allowed, but he's started 12 games this season. He's only allowed 5 or more hits in 4 of them, and he's playing against the Pirates today. The Pirates are one of the worst teams in the league against righties, top 5 in K rate, so Glasnow is going to be throwing some strikes today in this game. They're also last in the Pirates are also last in the MLB in isolated power, number 25 in average versus righties as well. So the Pirates are going to be totally overmatched by Tyler Glasnow and the Dodgers in this match. I believe Glasnow is going to go 7 innings, and I don't think that he's going to allow more than 4 hits. If he does, something goes dramatically wrong. Additionally, I expect to be a muggy, warm night in Pittsburgh. When that happens, the ball is not going to travel as far. A lot more fly balls, hopefully, and I hope that, I think that this honestly should just be a routine start for Glasnow. And for him, routine is like 3 hits, 7 innings, and 8+ Ks. I expect that tomorrow. So the play is Tyler Glasnow lower than 4.5 hits allowed. And this is a 0.9x multiplier. So there's a little juice on it, but I think it's totally worth it in this matchup because you really couldn't find a better opponent for Glasnow than the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, I love the Dodgers and I love the Pirates. These are my 2 favorite teams. So I know plenty about both of them, and yeah, I don't think that when O'Neal Cruz is swinging well and running the bases, it's awesome to see. Against righties, that's usually not the case. My last pick is also going to be in baseball, and it's with a guy that's on the total other end of the star spectrum than Tyler Glasnow. This is Otto Lopez, second baseman for the Miami Marlins. I'm taking him at higher than half a total base versus the Rays and their right-handed pitcher, Ryan Pepiot. Otto Lopez is a guy that I've got huge affinity for. It's hard not to root for him. He's a guy that nobody wanted. I mean, if you look at Underdog, he's wearing a Blue Jays hat, despite the fact he's been on the Marlins this season. He was a forgotten guy. He's on basically the worst team in baseball. I mean, you can make an argument them or the White Sox probably at this point. But he produces. He's started 19 games and he's got hits in 13 of those 19 games. He's currently on a 4-game hit streak. And he's got 7 hits in those 4 games. So he's been super hot. But like I said, he's got hits in 13 of 19 games. So it's not like he's a guy that has a cluster game here or there, and that's why his average is good. Which, by the way, it is good. He's betting 295 on the year, but versus righties he's at 323. So he's actually getting a pretty elite contact versus righties. And he's on a team that no one thinks about. He's in a role or in a spot late in the order that no one thinks about. So I think that targeting guys like Otto Lopez is great as far as finding value on Underdog Fantasy. And additionally, I can talk a little bit about Ryan Pepiot. He's a good pitcher, and I mean he's had a really solid season. His average against is very low. It's like around 120. But I think that he's benefiting a lot from good defense and also just good luck with BABIP. His BABIP is only 217, that's batting average for balls in play, which means when the ball is not hit out of the park or out of the foul lines, what is the batting average of those hitters? 217 is low. We talked about Tyler Glasnow, one of the most dominant pitchers in the game earlier. His BABIP is 239. So in this category, I mean, it's not the be-all and end-all of everything, but it is representative about how lucky pitchers are getting. Pepiot's BABIP is higher than that of Tyler Glasnow. So I am taking Otto Lopez to have higher than half a total base against the Rays on Tuesday in this Southern Florida rivalry at that. These 3 plays together, which are Carlos Alcaraz lower than 1.5 sets lost, Glasnow lower than 4.5 hits allowed, and Otto Lopez higher than half a total base, yield a 3.24x payout. So you're getting over 2-1 on your money if this one hits. I love this play. I'm confident in all of these. I mean, they're also 3 of my favorite players across all sports. I'm usually not a homer like that. It just so happened that we've got these guys. And also, what's that say about me when I'm saying Otto Lopez is one of my favorite players? But I don't know. I watch too many Marlins games, I guess, because the dude he's got swag and he produces in big spots for this team. And it looks like the Daily Dog Cat is getting involved in the show once again, so we'll take care of that. He's getting jealous of Otto Lopez, so he hopped on in here. All right, I told you guys that I had a bonus play, and that bonus play is Stefanos Tsitsipas, higher than 7.5 aces plus double faults in his match against Carlos Alcaraz. I honestly think that this is going to be 10. I think that Tsitsipas has potential to have 5 of each, 4 and 5, 5 and 4, 6 and 4, something like that in this match versus Alcaraz. The only way this doesn't hit is if he totally punts the match and realizes that he's overmatched and stops trying to hit the ball hard on his serves and stops taking risks with his serve. But if he tries to play it too safe, he knows he doesn't have a chance against Carlos. 2 of his 4 matches in the Australian Open or in the French Open so far this year have gone higher than this number. So I definitely, there's the cat wipe. So I definitely am confident in Stefanos Tsitsipas to have higher than 7.5 aces plus double faults in this match versus Carlos Alcaraz. Like I said, this should be 10. I will probably put this in some more high variance lineups on Underdog today, just because I am very confident in it and I feel like it's got a good baseline. There's just that one caveat that Stefanos could be a quitter and he could just punt on the match and just, roll over early. I hope he doesn't do it on such a big tournament, but that is possible. And you know what? I'll give you a bonus play. Dansby Swanson of the Cubs higher than 1.5 total bases against Chris Flexen in the crosstown rival Chicago White Sox. Swanson has a solid sample against Flexen, 11 at-bats with 7 hits. 3 of those have been for extra base hits or have been extra base hits. So I am confident in Dansby Swanson producing for the Cubs in this spot, especially against a pitcher like Chris Flexen, who I don't hold in that high of a regard. My only concern is that there's weather issues with this game. So, there could be a situation where the game doesn't go off. It starts late. It stops. Flexen's taken off the mound. Then who knows who's going to be pitching next for the White Sox. I think that it's a really good spot, and it's also a 1.1x multiplier with Dansby Swanson higher than 1.5 total bases against the White Sox. I just think the weather concerns are keeping that one off my card. So thanks for watching episode 2, and if you like this show, you like this type of content, please subscribe, please like, review, rate, do all of that stuff. It would really help because obviously this podcast has just sprung up overnight. There's nothing really behind it outside of SGPN, which is awesome. They offer tons of support. But I'm trying to build an audience for this type of content. I love Underdog. I love the menu they offer. And I think that it is a really good place to try to make some money if you are a sports nerd like myself. So if you're new to Underdog, use promo code DailyDog and get a $250 deposit match bonus. And like I said, rate, review, subscribe to the show. If you like my content, follow me on Twitter or on X. It's at Britton Hess, BrittonHess. And on there tomorrow morning, I'll have my early look at the main card for the UFC Fight Night card featuring Jared Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov. On Wednesday, I'm going to have the prelims. Thursday, I'll have my Underdog fantasy picks, which I've been crushing lately for MMA. And then on Friday, I'll have my DFS preview. So thanks again for watching. Let's wake some money today and have a good day.